and welcome to a very special episode because this is my first not gaming episode on the channel. Where today I want to talk about something rather interesting that's been going on in the gaming community for the past couple of years, I guess. And that is the opinions, the general opinion and stereotype around the console, the Wii U. Lots of people have been hating it, and for no real reason really. And yeah, they still annoy me, and she want to slap them or something because they just blindly ignore it. There's no reason to hate that console, and for some reason it's a super popular opinion, or rather a fact for some people, which again wanted to slap in the game community. So yeah, this video is supposed to help spread the message of how dumb that is and how the Wii U is actually a great console. Yeah. So in this video I'm gonna show you 15 reasons, as you read by the title, why the Wii U is not a bad console. And not just that, but also why it is as good. Because I don't want to say it's not a disaster because of these 15 reasons, but also to describe why it is as good, or in some cases even better, than the other current generation consoles, so like the PS4 and the Xbox One. So without further ado, here it is, the top 15 reasons why the Wii U is not a bad console. Let's start with number one. Reason number one is the GamePad. The GamePad is an amazing controller. It's just with a gyroscopic controls, and it's just easy and just so epic to actually have basically a tablet to play your games with, and it just makes things a whole lot easier on top of being a good controller. So, and many people feel like they don't want to play around the GamePad just to play a video game, and in some games it does happen because that's the point of that. Is the point of it to be used innovative controls and use them in a fun way. While in other games, you just use the GamePad to add something just to do the efficiency of everything. Like for example, in the game Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD, where the GamePad is just used as a quick way to swap out your inventory and look. Point number two, the games. This one has been getting a lot of criticism. People saying that it's not good because there are no AAA games, but it doesn't have to have AAA games for it to be good. And it has, the Wii U is meant for innovative, great games that use things just the GamePad. And games like FIFA, Assassin's Creed, or even COD were not made for the GamePad, but you still have amazing and fun games available in every genre to play on the Wii U. Want a fighting game? Super Smash Bros. Want a racing game? Mario Kart. And so on and so on. Literally, you want a platformer? Of course, Super Mario. Want a shooter? Splatoon, of course, another great game. Want a creative sandbox game? Super Mario Maker. Bam. You're pretty much sorted in every genre you can imagine. If you want a platformer that's in a super creative style, Yoshi's Woolly World. There's so many games on offer that are also unique and fun and as good as your AAA games. A game does not have to be Call of Duty to be good. Yeah, I kind of started ranting there for a second, but hey, let's move to the next point. Next point, Amiibos. These little fellas, maybe just adjust the shots on the camera. These little fellas are so awesome. They're so awesome. On top of being extremely awesome collectibles. Bam. Put it on my shelf here. My gaming shelf. Can't really see that, but Anyway, on top of being extremely cool collectibles, they actually do things in game because of the NFC chip they have in them, and that just adds to where the GamePad is good because it has the NFC compatibility thingy inside. But basically, press it in my hand, press it against the gamepad. We don't have to like really insert anything at all. And you press it or even hold it near it and it will load. That's just awesome. And yeah, they'll give you special things to do in the game. Like, for example, in Super Smash Bros., which is, I think the first game that used these, and this is the series that is used. Well, there's two link here. They basically allow you to train up your amiibo, kind of like a Pokemon. In Mario Kart 8, they will give you special costumes for your Mii. And there's in Yoshi's Woolly World, something similar, they give you special Yoshis to play with. They have special designs based after the amiibo. Or in a recent Nintendo game, Star Fox Zero, using amiibos actually changes up the ship you're flying and also its abilities. It can also impact gameplay a lot. And there are also things where you can literally transform these figurines into the game. Once again, this Super Smash Bros. But also things like Mario Party, where you can have the Amiibo game board, or Animal Crossing, what is it called? Amiibo Festival. Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, where you can also use your Amiibos as kind of pawns in this game, in this board game, and it's super awesome. And many people complain that it's just extra DLC hidden behind a paywall. But yeah, you have to pay for DLC, but in this case, you don't only get the DLC, but you get an awesome figurine. And it's not like it's DLC from one game. These work on multiple titles. So it's basically like buying a season pass or something like that. And yeah, you basically get two things in one, maybe even more than that. Just from this little figurine that costs, what, £10? 10, 20, 30 pounds is the new thing. So yeah, very cool and a very great accessory for the console. And they, once again, they just look awesome. Next thing, social features. The console has a lot of social features included in it. For example, Miiverse, which is a big one, which is basically a social media, kind of very similar to Twitter, that's all dedicated to every single game on there. And it's spread across the every single person that owns the console, which is just awesome. It's like a huge social media dedicated to just that one console. And it's especially great that it's not like some third party thing that, you know, not a lot of people know of. It's pre-installed on the Wii U when you get it. Yeah. And there are also so many social features tied into the games. For example, when you complete a level in some games, like in Star Fox Zero, it'll automatically take a screenshot of the finish screen, and then it will automatically upload it to Miiverse, and it will then allow you to, well, if you want, of course, it will upload it to Miiverse, and then you're also allowed to write some description of it, or like some joke, or any kind of line or tweet kind of that you like. And in other games like Yoshi's Woolly World or Super Mario Bros. 3D World, you can better that experience by just playing the games, because you can find things like stamps, which you can then use in the post to make them, you know, better, funnier and such. So yeah, there are plenty of social features tied in with the console and the games to really make it fun and easy to access and talk to other players and share this amazing experience that you have playing the Wii U. Following up from the last point, free online. There are no paywalls at all, so you don't have to pay for things like Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus. It's free all time, and like all the apps are unlocked at all times that are online. There's absolutely no paywall behind any of them. So yeah, it actually makes it easy to connect to people once again. It just makes it so simple without having to pay for something, which just helps everything. And like I said before, it's pre-installed, it's all activated, it's all ready for you to join and just dive in and just behind the word, just, you know, enjoy it. I think I said enjoy already, but you know what I mean. Next point, it's dedicated to play games. It may come as a surprise to some of you guys, but a video games console is made for playing video games. I know, shocking news. It doesn't focus on having Netflix integration or playing Blu-rays or whatever. It focuses on what it's supposed to, playing games. And it does that well. It's not trying to be something else or split up across everything. It does what the video game console should do, which is more than could be said about other current generation consoles. Kind of relating to my point previously about 309, the console is inexpensive. It's the cheapest out of the current generation, the 8th generation consoles. And yeah, and the costs are even cheaper because you don't have to pay for the online. So yeah, it's a very cheap console and you get a lot for that price. I remember the premium 32GB edition costs around £200. So yeah, it's cheaper than the other consoles, and yeah, you just get a lot more for that price, in my opinion. But yeah, just the fact that it is the cheapest console makes it that much better. And before you say it's cheap because it's bad, no, you have a lot for that price, which I'm explaining why in this video. Point the hardware. Many people criticize the Wii U for not having a lot of storage, 32GB premium version, 16GB basic version, and yeah, it's not a lot compared to other consoles of the 8th generation, but it's actually not, a lot of memory is actually not needed for how the Wii U is designed and played games, because most of the games won't be played off the hardware anyway, they will be played from discs. And sure, there is an eShop if you want to buy games like online, but the chances are you will just use the normal disc games. So, and in fact, it's actually a lot easier to just get games from on discs. But there's still integration between disc games and the eShop once you buy the game. So it's basically treated like, it's almost the same thing, but it's on a disc. But yeah, there's still integration involved into features of that game on the eShop, even if you didn't buy it on the eShop and you bought it instead on a disc. And also, the hardware is still great compared to like other consoles, not compared, but the same as the other consoles. Like there is no lag and 60 frames per second. So yeah, it's just constant and it's great and it's solid, powerful, just like the other consoles. Oops, the camera there. Number 9, the accessories. On top of the lovely Amiibos, you also have plenty of other stuff you get with the console. For example, a stand for the gamepad, a stand for the gamepad that also charges the gamepad, a stylus, and so much more that you just get to extend your playing experience so that much more, making it a lot more efficient and easy to use, especially with the charger. I mean, come on, you can nicely display your gamepad and charge at the same time. How awesome is that? And all those accessories just come in the box when you buy the console. So, and all those accessories are useful. There are no accessories that aren't useful. And so you're not wasting your money on anything. And all of those accessories, sure, you may not choose to use if you don't like, but all of those are very useful, and there's a lot of them to use when you get the console. And there are more to buy if you like. For example, an extra accessory that extends the battery life of the gamepad and things like that, to extend it even further and extend how efficient everything is even further if you like. And it's not like they're very expensive. Going back to my previous point about that it's an inexpensive console. Point, easy setup. All you have to do is connect it to the power and to the HDMI and the sensor. So yeah, just 2 to 3 cables, super easy, and it doesn't add tons of extra cables. It's super simple to set it up. Number 11, the graphics. Oh boy, the graphics. Many people have complained about them, but they're not actually bad. 1080p, and yes, the graphics may not be realistic, but none of the games are meant to be realistic. They're not designed to be realistic, the graphics. Because it's one thing if you try to make everything seem realistic with bad graphics, or you can everything have seem cartoony and with great graphics. Both are, one of them is better than the other, of course, which is the cartoony good graphics. And it doesn't mean it's any better than realistic good graphics. And yeah, the graphics stay consistent throughout the games. Every game has great graphics that pop out, and people have been complaining about it, but it's not a problem. The graphics are great, and not just great, compared to what people have been saying, great compared to the other two consoles. They are almost, the other console also have 1080p. So yeah, it's the same. It's not bad in that regard whatsoever. Next point, Club Nintendo / My Nintendo, because it's kind of renovated recently and whatnot. Basically, Club Nintendo / My Nintendo allows you to get stuff for buying the games, which is just awesome. And it also kind of adds an extra incentive of why you should get the disc games. A lot of them, just being great on the shelf. And you can buy pretty awesome stuff. Like I bought this awesome shopping bag, like Mario Kart characters and such, and it's just awesome. And you don't have to buy that many games to buy anything. Some of the items are very cheap, some of the items are more expensive, but all of them are great. And have things from ringtones to shopping bags to pillows to blankets to hats to so much awesome stuff. You can just buy with virtual currency just for being loyal to the Nintendo games, and that's just epic. Next point, the disc handling. First off, the discs themselves are very great as they have this very smooth edge. Just getting a disc in and out is also super easy. It's not like in a drive, but it basically pushes or sucks the disc in. It's as simple as that. When you want to take the game out, it doesn't like put out a whole drive, but simply the game. The disc. And then when you want to put a game in, you just put a slight bit. You just simply put a slight bit of the disc inside, like the mouth kind of thing, and then it just like sucks it in, and you play the game. You don't have to even press any buttons to put the game into the console, and as long as there is no game in there to begin with. Because it's going great for co-op and competitive play. There is so much to do with multiplayer in the games, and it's so easy to do multiplayer. And there's also a lot of incentive for competitive games. There's so much incentive of being better than who you're playing against. Or there's so many incentives to cooperate if you're playing a co-op game. It is so easy and so fun, especially when you involve things like online multiplayer, which is free because, like I said, the online features are always free for every game. And a lot of the games have online features, which is just great. And finally, the off-TV gameplay, where you can basically treat your Wii U like a DS. Now, I can't say much about the DS because my Wii U is in fact my first Nintendo console I ever owned. But yeah, you don't need a TV to play the game. All you have to do is play on the GamePad. Not all games support it because they require the use of two screens, like an actual DS, 3DS, whatever. But yeah, there are plenty of games you can just play on your GamePad, so it's great if your TV gets used a lot. So you can basically enjoy your games as a kind of a handheld console, even though you can't leave the room with it. So guys, 15 reasons why the Wii U is not a bad console, and it is in fact as good or even greater than the other current generation consoles. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you like, please subscribe, like, whatever, share, whatever you do, and just yeah, let me know if you enjoyed it and tell me what you'd like to see next. In the meantime, goodbye everyone. Goodbye, farewell. I'll see you in the next episode of whatever. If you enjoyed that video and want to check out some other things by me, you can click the I button in the top right of the video and see some other stuff by me. And click the big subscribe sign on your screen right now to subscribe.